The views and opinions expressed by the following program are those of the host, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station or Webster Rock Hill Ministries, its management, or other hosts or underwriting sponsors. Programs presented on KWRH-LP are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Views which are presented are for educational purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, or claim any cure of disease or condition.
Hello, this is Robin. I'm with Families United, and we have a great segment for you today. It's about honoring mothers. Mothers are so special in our lives, and we appreciate them greatly. I have some beautiful women here today who are on the move. Professional women and their mothers, their sisters, their daughters, and they're just out there doing great things. And I'm going to give a small introduction on both of them. You know, family, it's all about family matters. And so we have a special segment on women and mothers today. Today I have Monica Henderson. She's a college instructor and has spent numerous years volunteering at various churches in St. Louis as a family life coordinator and a youth leader. She has 3 children, one in college at Cornell University, and one in high school and one elementary school. She's busy and she's counseling and she helps out with her children. And her greatest accomplishment is to keep her so busy with her children. She enjoys having fun with them. Monica's areas of interest include work-family balance, trauma psychology, and teaching strategies to others to enrich their family life. Say hello, Monica.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Great. And our next guest is Anita Smiley. She is currently working at Prosperity Connection as a financial education coach serving the St. Louis metropolitan area. She's a graduate of Funkbun University and she has her master's in social work from St. Louis University. Oh, she's great. She's a certified financial social worker from the National Association of Social Work. And she is certified. She's a certified financial social worker and financial education coach. How about that? We are so excited to have her. And she has what she likes to do. She is very honored in assisting many clients in achieving their financial goals, while also focusing on trauma and behavior impact that current financial families have today and how she can assist in helping families in the financial institution today. Welcome, Anita.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Wow, we have some beautiful women here, listening audience. It's all about women today and how we honor our mothers, and they're doing great things. I tell you, it is great. It is really a privilege to have them here today. And as we talk about parenting, motherhood, balancing work and family, these 2 moms that I have here, they're just doing a wonderful job. And I really put my hats out to them and say thank you for what you do as a mother, as a professional worker, as a sister, and as a daughter. Anything you would like to say, Anita, in reference to being a mom and being a professional worker?
Oh my gosh. First off, I want to say how honored I am to be a mother, and that kind of has pushed me to continue my professional career. I have a 12-year-old that plays ice hockey that makes me so proud. And then I have a 9-year-old who is fluent in credit and finances. So Hopefully she follows my path, even though she's saying she doesn't want to.
Great. Isn't it wonderful? Her daughter's doing excellent. She's into sports. I understand she's on the honor roll. And you're just a great mom, and we appreciate you. In appreciation of mothers, and Mother's Day is coming up soon, we just wanted to share with you the mothers that are on the move today. Monica, would you share or give an introduction of what you enjoy about being a mom and a professional woman?
Well. Interesting. I have, with me having one in college, one in high school, one in elementary school, it seems like I'm always running. But I truly enjoy being a mom. And I guess the biggest thing is balancing work with trying to be a good mom and family life and errands and activities. And so to all the moms out there, first, I just want to say kudos to all that you do and to keep on doing it, because your hard work is not just for the moment. You're creating a legacy. So that's what I look on when I get tired, when I feel like giving up. I'm just saying I'm creating a legacy for the next generation, and that keeps me going.
Wow, did you hear that, listening audience? Monica mentioned how it's an honor and she wanted to keep the legacy going, and what she does to balance work and family and children. She's just doing an excellent job. So today's show is about womanhood and what women and mothers are doing today. And we enjoy honoring our mothers. Oh, don't we love our mothers, family? Yes. And so I have some tips, or I have some questions on parenting tips. And I'm going to start with Monica. To what extent do you perceive problems with American families today?
That's such a great question. You know, if ever there was a state of emergency, per se, for families, I would say that the time is now, in terms of the necessity, the attention that's needed to focus on our families. Michael J. Fox had a very famous quote that he said, family is not an important thing, it's everything.
Yes.
And so I believe that as we look on how are we going to fix our families, how are we going to create a better next generation, we have to be intentional in what we're doing. We have to make a concerted effort. We have to be willing to say, you know what, there's a breakdown here. Do I need to change my work schedule? Do I need to knock off some activities? Whatever I need to do, I need to make an intentional effort to make family life better.
Yes, that is so true. And as mothers and fathers, as parents, what do we need to do to make our family better? It's about spending time with your family. We do know there is no perfect way to be a parent, but it's a normal thing to do. Try to support and advise others and share your opinion while others share their opinion. It's almost impossible to be the best parent without help. But at the same time, listening to other advice from other people, sometimes it can drive you insane. But if you realize there is no perfect way to be a parent, but to be a best parent that you can be, I think that's awesome. Next question. What are the 3 most important things you want to share about raising kids? Anyone can chime in on that.
Okay. I will chime in there. My 3 things are a little biased since I'm a financial coach. But I would say the first one is, for me, is teaching children how to have compassion and empathy. It's really important that they understand that people are different from them, and different doesn't necessarily equal bad. I think a lot of the issues, at least when I'm thinking of my daughter, I'm thinking of a little Black girl who's been playing ice hockey since she was 9, and her dealing with the issues of feeling like the only one or feeling kind of cast out. those are things that African Americans in certain settings feel very often. And so really just being like, okay, that we can look at each other's differences and accept them. I also believe in financial education being like being taught when they're really young. My daughters have been in Money Smart School of Finance for Children since they were in 4th grade, learning about stocks and bonds and how to trade and good things of that nature. So that's one of my very important ones there as well. And then the last one, higher education. I'm really big on getting that post-education outside of high school and also supporting, your children throughout that whole process of that higher education. 18 does not necessarily equal grown or that you know it all. So you still need absolute parent guidance at 18. So.
Wow. Did you hear that, listening audience? Empathy, higher education. And this is all about family. Family matters. We're talking today on 92.9 FM, and it's all about family. This is Robin with Families United. And if you would like to reach us at 314-772-2260. And today we're talking about women, how we honor our mothers. You can also text a question if you like at any time. You can text me at 314-922-9582 if you have any questions. Also, you can visit our website at www.healthyrelationshipstl.com and just visit our website. If you have any questions, you can welcome to email us. This is Robin with Families United, and we have some beautiful women in the radio listening here, and we're just about family, and they're just talking about women and how to have a healthy lifestyle, how to balance life and healthy relationships, how to balance work, how to balance children. And like I say, it's all about families. And we want you to realize, listening audience, our mothers are so special. I know my mom is 80 years old and I miss her. I just love her to death. And just to let you know, listening audience, this is Robin with Families United, and we'll be right back.
This is Greg with Promoting Healthy Relationships. You are listening to KWRHLP 92.9 FM, your community radio station in Webster Groves, Missouri. Hello, this is Greg Ingram.
And I'm Robin Ingram with Families United.
Our show is promoting healthy relationships. You may listen to it every Saturday at 2 p.m.
where we discuss methods to improve family structure, resolve conflict, and discuss conflict resolution,
and how to conduct effective communication,
and building healthy relationships, and how to engage in healthy dating.
And build strong families.
Every Saturday
at 2 p.m.
Hi, this is Robin with Families United, and we're here talking about mothers and women today and what we need to do to have a better life. And I have Monica here as well as Anita, and they're sharing with us about parenting and what mothers do to balance work and dealing with children. And so I just have a couple questions for them. And one of the questions we mentioned earlier is what families are like today, and what are the 3 major things that you can share about raising your children. And one mentioned empathy, having empathy for others. Another question I have in mind is, what was the first crisis you faced in child rearing? What was the first crisis you face in disciplining your child?
Well, as far as crisis, as far as child rearing, I would say for me it was balancing work with family, as we talked about a little bit earlier. And so what I had to do, I did have to make some changes as far as my job and to find one that gave me the flexible hours that I needed to be there for my children. I know at times that's not always possible, and your only time with your children may be on the weekend. But as far as trying to balance that, then make that commitment, set that date with your children. Maybe it's just to do a Netflix movie and chill, or maybe it's to go out, but to set that time aside so that even though you're working hard during the week, you're balancing that out with their special time with mom. It means a lot. They will remember it. Another thing that helped me with trying to balance work and family life was joining a parent support group, meeting other parents, and helping each other with our kids and activities and learning strategies. Reach out to your local church or reach out to your school district and see what resources are available to help with juggling everything. And of course, praying for strength. It's hard to work, and then you want to have the best attitude when dealing with your kids, but sometimes you don't because you're so tired. So pray for that strength. Ask God to help you. Say, God, really help me to be the best mom that I can. And one of the things that also helped me with my children was having family worship in the morning. Every morning at 6 o'clock, we meet together in my room and we have family worship. And it's something about praying together. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It may just be 5 or 6 minutes. And what we simply do is we sing a song, we read a scripture. Somebody may say what the scripture means to them. And we try to keep that thought going in our heads throughout the day. And so that was what helped me to balance work with family life. That peace in the morning, setting aside a dedicated time for my children, and making those adjustments career-wise where my schedule fit my kids.
Wow, did you hear that, listening audience? It's about a family that prays together, stays together. You know, you mentioned praying in the morning and having worship with your children. It is so important. It's needed. You know, I always suggest that families pray at 7 in the morning and then 7 in the evening. And I know that as parents, you have busy schedules. You can FaceTime. How about that?
That's good.
FaceTime your child. What are you doing? Let's take time. Just take 30 seconds out and just say a prayer with each other. You know, we can do that. You know, the kids are busy doing sports and activities. Take time out. Also, family, you know, take time out and sit down and have dinner with each other. Put down that phone for just 15 minutes and have a good meal and conversation with your parents. You know, today it's all about mothers and how we honor our mom. I know my mom, like I mentioned, is 80 years old and she's getting so what she can't do as much as she used to. So I miss that, but I, try to support her as much as I can. My next question about family and mothers and parenting. In describing an ideal child, how important are the child behavior or traits? And any one of you can answer that question.
That's interesting because I believe behavior and traits are learned and they can be unlearned. And so there are some things that, and then also this kind of goes back into something my oldest just told me. Sunday night, she was just crying and letting it all out. I'm like, what is going on? And she says, you want me to be perfect, but I'm not perfect. And I never have vocalized that she should be perfect, but she just picked that up from me. And I do expect her to do really well. So for her, I guess that meant perfect. And so being able to let them know that they can have those, behaviors that are not always correct, those bad behaviors, we can change that. We can learn those and unlearn those and just accepting them for who they are. I know for her, children need that flexibility to be able to make a mistake and know that you still love them, or have a behavior that's not the best and didn't make the best choice, but know that you're still there and you still feel the same way about them. So, I guess the most important behavior for me would be that open mind and the ability to learn and grow. Because if you have that, they can accomplish anything. The minute they no longer want to be open to new things or learn or grow, or even understand that there is room for growth, that's kind of where it is harder to reach them.
This is so true. Being a good role model, setting your standard and your values within your children, teaching them the right way and the best way is really good for parents to do. Listening audience, did you hear these tips from these wonderful women? They're on the move. They're a mother. They're a parent, also work, professional women. And just hearing these parenting and mothering tips is just wonderful. You should be taking notes on this information. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to call Robin or Greg at Families United at 314-772-2260, or just visit our website at www.healthyrelationshipstl.com. Now we're going to go to our next question. When it comes to discipline, which works best?
Well, I guess I'll take that question. Oftentimes parents discipline while they're angry. And this is a real no-no. It's really hard not to react right away, but oftentimes you're upset, you're angry, you're tired, you're frustrated. And so that is not the best time to try to tell your kid or grab them or snatch them, because it may be a little harder than you intend, and it may not come off the way that you want it to. And so I think the first thing when it comes to disciplining is to not do it while you're angry. I know for younger children, what I did with my children, I'm talking now ages like 1 to 3 when my kids were younger, time out. They do something you don't like, let them sit in a little chair. That's the timeout chair. Just sit there, no toys. You can't play, you can't talk, just sit there. Some parents ask for how long? Well, when my kids were 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And you'll be surprised to see how long that is to that child. And you may have to continue, go back and say, go back and sit down. They'll get up. But as far as disciplining, not disciplining, or trying to discipline when you're angry, also being consistent with it. If you say no today, then that no should also be said tomorrow if that action is repeated. So consistency, doing it immediately after a behavior is done. These are all simple things that can go a long way.
And just to chime in, I found that with if you can figure out the children's why, what makes them move, sometimes we discipline them in ways that we think will affect them, or they'll really get the lesson then. But when you figure out why they move and what they really love, and you can tap into that, it makes it easier to discipline them. My oldest, I know, loves hockey, and putting her on a punishment or even taking her phone was nothing. But when I say, oh, we're not going to go see the Blues game, everything got straightened up really quick. So I figured out her why. I figured out what makes her tick. And if you can do that, often we can reach those children that some may deem as unreachable.
Wow. Did you hear that, listening audience? We're talking about motherhood and parenting and womanhood. Mother's Day is coming up soon, and we should always honor our mother. They are so nurturing and so kind and being a part of our lives. So it's so important that we continue to love them. It always say that A child who loves their mother, that's the best thing that you can ever have. And a mother loving their child is the best thing that God could have created when it comes to moms. And so people, individuals, husbands, love your wives. Children, love your mother unconditional, because I'm sure they love you unconditional as well. It's all about honoring your mother. And so as we continue on with Families United segment on motherhood and parenting tips and professional women today, I want you to think about honoring your mom and being the best child, the best husband that you can be. This is Robin, brought to you by Families United. It's all about family matters. We're going to take a break and we shall be back shortly. This is Robin Ingram of Families United. You are listening to KWRH-LP 92.9 FM, your community radio station in Webster Groves, Missouri.
Hello, this is Greg Ingram.
And I'm Robin Ingram with Families United.
Our show is promoting healthy relationships. You may listen to it every Saturday at 2 p.m.
where we discuss methods to improve family structure, resolve conflict, and discuss conflict resolution,
and how to conduct effective communication,
and building healthy relationships and how to engage in healthy dating.
and build strong families.
Every Saturday
At 2 p.m.
Hello, listening audience. This is Robin with Families United, and we're talking about motherhood and women today and parenting skills. You know, Mother's Day is coming up soon, and we need to honor our mothers. They are so precious. You know, that's one of the precious things that God created. I have two beautiful women here, Monica and Anita, and they're sharing their parenting tips. They're also sharing how they balance work and family and how they are balancing their children and their activities. I mean, they have a lot going on. I call them women on the move. These are the women for today. And anything else you would like to share with us, Monica or Anita?
Well, you know, as far as parenting tips, I really just want to talk about just spending quality time with your children. You know, you're right when you say we're women on the move, and we are literally on the move. But what is quality time? You know, moms out there, quality time is not in the drive-through. Quality time is not going from, you know, a soccer game to a basketball game. That is just being on the move per se. But quality time is setting aside that time. So definitely want to really focus on quality time with your children. Also listening to them. You know, and back in the day, we always heard children were seen and not heard. That's true. But there's also an aspect of your child's voice. They want to know that, hey, Mom, I can talk to you about anything. And so we have to make sure we're not shutting them down or not noticing when they want to share something. Another parenting tip that is good is to be involved in your child's academics. So, you know, it's a lot going on, but make those classroom visits, make those teacher conferences, email the teachers, not just when something is wrong, but just to say, hey, thank you for what you do. What lesson are you on? What else can I do at home to help my child? In the summer months, you know, the kids shouldn't be sitting there watching TV the whole summer. There are plenty of activities and camps that are out there. Many of them are free or have scholarships available. Do your homework, do your due diligence, research, keep your children involved. For single moms that are out there, if you're dating, make sure that the significant other in your life is not taking away your time from your child. If you're in a toxic relationship, get out of it. If it's if it's using up all your mental energy, then that's something that doesn't need to be, that's taking up space and time that should be used for your children.
Wow, Monica, that is so true. That was one of the questions I was going to ask, describing an ideal parent and how important are the parents' involvement. And you just mentioned, get involved. Go to the parents teachers conference, have quality time with your children, sit and read with them, do some homework with them. Actually, just have fun together, maybe bake some cookies together, whatever you guys do to have fun and have some activities. Yes. Going to the park. I know Anita says she's very active with her daughter in her school, in the activity and the sports that she does there. And just do what you can as a parent. And one of the last questions I have here is, could you share some of your parenting skills?
So one of my skills, I kind of like that. Really like that point that Monica made about children. That statement, when we were growing up, saying children should be seen and not heard. And I try to absolutely go the opposite way of that statement. I want my children to understand that their opinion is valuable and that I hear them and that they matter. So for, at least for me and the way I'm parenting the girls, it has been really not as hard to learn about what's going on at school, to stay up and to stay involved, because she tells me a lot of things. We have an open relationship, and I also just let her know that I'm here, and you would be surprised in the difference that makes. In dealing with her friends, we have sat down with a friend and made sure that she got a good referral to a counselor, because she maybe was dealing with some depression issues that she couldn't have told her mom, that she could only have told my daughter. And so it's really important that I am that open book for her, that safe place that, if I go and tell my mom, A, it's safe, and B, she's going to do something about it and listen to me. I just want to always, for her, no matter what point that the children are in life, is to be that safe place and that stable person that is going to unconditionally love them. So I try to be that for her, and, as much as I can. So I just think maintaining that open relationship, that honest relationship, is really important.
Oh, wow. Did you hear that, audience? Having a open communication line with your parent, with your mother, children, parents, have that open door of communication. Allow the child to be comfortable to come and speak to you so they can tell you what's going on in their lives. Something very important might be going on. You have a lot of bullying, peer pressure. Our kids are going through a lot with social media. So these are things that you can do, have an open communication. I just want to share with you, audience, it's not about being the perfect parent, but being the best you can be. It's a blend between trusting your own instincts and desires while listening to the experiences and counsels of others. That could be true. You might listen to others, but you know what's best for your child. It's okay to get advice. It's okay to read. It's okay to get some knowledge from or wisdom from grandma or your mother or great grandma, but you know what is best. And it's okay to keep that open mind and communication open. This is so true. I have 5 tips that I would like to share real shortly. Like I mentioned, there is no perfect parent. Whether you are a new parent or a seasoned parent, it's hard to shake the thought that you should be perfect. There is no perfect parent, which means you will not be perfect. That's a good thing. Instead of aiming to be perfect, aim to be the best you can be. Work hard and try to be your best without the pressure of being perfect. That's tip 1. Number 2, nothing is wrong with listening. The first step to deciding if others can help you to be a better parent is listening. It's okay to listen to grandma and, other advice or reading books. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with listening. The great part about listening is that it doesn't mean you have to do what others suggest. But if you ignore what people are saying, you can miss out on something that can be very helpful and important. It's okay to have an open mind. Trust yourself. Oh my God. Trusting yourself and trusting God first is always important. Your thoughts about parenting can be different than everyone else, but it doesn't mean your ideals are wrong. Maybe your perspective on parenting is exactly what your children need. Trust yourself. That's tip number 3. Number 4, maintain your boundaries. That means you might have a bottom line. Whatever your boundaries are, make sure you are clear. From the moment you feel first that you learn you're going to be a parent or become a grandparent, someone will have some advice about how to be a parent. It can come from someone you respect or loved ones, relatives or friends. Even if you hold them in a high regard, you have the right to choose whether to take their advice or not. You hear that? Sometimes grandma may give an advice, but it might not be the best one for you, and that's okay. If their advice feels forced or comes with a guilt, maintain your boundaries. You are the parent and you make the decision for your children. Number 5, the last one, push yourself to try. Being a parent means that you have to try things out of your comfort zone at some point, but sometimes you might want to resist. It might feel uncomfortable, but be the best that you can be. As much as possible, keep trying being your best because that's what it's all about. This is Robin with Families United, and you can reach us at 314-772-2260, or you can text a question at 314-922-9582, or visit us on our website, www.healthyrelationshipstl.com. This is Robin with Families United. We're talking about women, precious stones. We'll be right back.
This is Greg with Promoting Healthy Relationships. You are listening to KWRH-LP 92.9 FM, your community radio station in Webster Groves, Missouri. Hello, this is Greg Ingram.
And I'm Robin Ingram with Families United.
Our show is promoting healthy relationships. You may listen to it every Saturday at 2 p.m.
where we discuss methods to improve family structure, resolve conflict, and discuss conflict resolution,
and how to conduct effective communication,
and building healthy relationships and how to engage in healthy dating.
and build strong families.
Every Saturday
At 2 p.m.
Hello, family. This is Robin with Families United, brought to you by 92.9 FM. And we're talking about women, mothers, how we should honor our mothers and what mothers do to nurture and make sure the family is in good condition, make sure the household is running smoothly. They do all these things, not only parenting skills, they're mothers, they're wives, they're working, they're balancing work and their children. And so when they do that, they also have finances that they need to budget, money that they need to budget. And we're going to talk about some of these things that parents and mothers can do with their finance to prepare their children for college, to prepare for a nice home, and also just have a budget for activities. Anita, you want to share some things with us about finance and the family?
Okay, so my favorite section. When I think of family and finance, my mind just really quickly goes to generational wealth. How can we implant and start to create a handbook for our children to get them to where they need to be as adults? Oftentimes the skills needed to be a successful adult that can manage their money, balance their money, and not deal with that impulse spending has to be, it's preferred that it is taught during childhood. A few of examples that I would use to kind of engage the children into the family finances would be give them a budget. My children, they have a budget each month. They know how much can be spent here, and they also know why. Children, just like you have goals, have them set those goals as well. What do you want to save up your money for? Okay, so you're going to take all your chore money and you're going to save it here. I'll never forget it. I was talking to one of my classmates when I went to St. Louis University, and she was saying how she grew up saving 10% of everything. Birthday money, allowance, extra money. So now as an adult, it was so easy for her to save because that is something that was ingrained. We have to start to plant those seeds while they are young. So every child should be in some type of financial education course. There are so many out there that really, if we don't know about them, we just don't do them. My favorite is Money Smart School of Finance for Children, and it is for children grades 6 through 12, and they teach them all things money, investment, savings, bonds, retirement. It's really interesting what kids are able to learn if we give them the opportunity. So that's one of my favorite. And also making them put up 10% of everything that they get, even if it is $1. It is just adamant that we are consistent in that they learn how to save during that childhood. And also creating value in themselves. Oftentimes you see adults who now are trying to get that value from the outside things, the material things, that outside world. If we raise them to know that that value is within in your mind, how can you help others, how compassionate you are, the legacy you leave on this earth, that's where the value is. The value is not in the material things. So I found that has been something that's really important as well to start to ingrain towards childhood.
Yes, this is so true. Saving is so important. I can remember when I first got my little savings account. I was 7 years old, believe it or not, and my mother opened up an account, and my father would give me an allowance every week. And so when she got a chance to go to the bank and take me with her, I would put my little $5 in. How about that? Mm-hmm. And so before you knew it, I had like $100 and a couple $100. And so when it was time for the summer and I wanted to do an activity, and my parents was like, well, we're on a budget and I might not have that amount if you want to go to Six Flags. And I was like, what about my little savings? And so I was able to go to the bank and get some money out and enjoy my summer. And, family, if you can save, did you hear what Anita said about saving 10%? The children can put up $1 or $2, and about family generation wealth. That is so important that we do this because, when people pass away, we don't have the savings and the life insurance and annuities and checking and savings account and 401ks. These are things that you can do as a family. Try to put a little aside. I think that is so important to do. Anything you would like to share, Monica?
Robin, I'm glad you mentioned life insurance because when I think of finances, one of the first things that popped in my head was securing life insurance. So as someone who's lost their mom and dad very quickly at separate times, in a very short time, they were here and then gone, the importance of having life insurance. So to all the moms out there, we love looking good and pretty, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with self-love and self-care. But if we're spending more time on hair and nails and makeup and clothes and purses, and we don't have a life insurance policy, then, it may be time to really relook at the priorities because this is about our children.
Yes.
And if anything should happen quickly, do they know where your will is? Do they know, mom said, this is where we'll go. This is where we'll stay. Has that conversation taken place? So these are important things that I think of when I think of finances, especially as someone who doesn't even have my parents around. And I had to grow up real quickly. And I'm glad that they talked about it. Otherwise, I would have been devastated.
Yes, this is something that's very important, family, is setting aside a savings or some type of funding for your children and for your family, or even if there's a illness or sickness, a spouse might get sick and you need some money for a rainy day. This is your opportunity to try to save. I know Anita, she's from Prosperity Connection, and she does an excellent job in family finance as well as home buying opportunity and credit repair. That's with Prosperity Connection. And you can always reach her or you can reach the company if you like to give that information, Anita.
Yes, absolutely. Prosperity Connection, we do financial education. What's really important about us is that all of our services are free of charge because we're a nonprofit. So you can meet one-on-one with a financial coach and create your own financial goals, look at your FICO score and report, and or attend a class. I can be reached at 314-371-6016. Prosperity Connection, no S, it is singular.org. And we also actually have a class coming up on the 24th of April that we will address emotional spending, how to get past that impulse buying and different ways to tackle that. And that will be at 6:30, 2707 North 14th Street, 63106. If you know where Crown Candy is, we are right down the street in walking distance. But feel free to reach out to us so we can help you work on those financial goals.
Audience, that you hear that, we're talking about motherhood, parenting, as well as finance. In the family, we have to save somehow for a rainy day. So it's so important that you put aside something for your children, college, insurance, 401k, whatever you can do. I remember my Aunt Joanne, she would save for Christmas and she would do the Christmas plan. And she will just, when Christmas time comes, she would just buy her nieces and nephews gifts. So that was her savings for her, was the Christmas plan. So whatever you can do to save. This is brought to you by Families United 92.9. And just to let you know of some upcoming events, on June the 30th through July the 1st, we have our youth retreat, ages 14 through 18. And we also have a workshop coming up on how not to date a jerk, his or her, or how not to marry a jerk, his or her, as well as couples enrichment. You want to strengthen your marriage and you want not to marry a jerk, his or her, come see us. We're going to be at the Brentwood Community Center. You can visit our website for more information at www.healthyrelationshipstl.com, or just give me a call and I'll tell you more about it. It's at 314-772-2260. This is Robin with Families United. I would like to say thank you to our special guest, Monica Henderson, my sister. I love you. And Anita, too, my sister. I love you both. You know, you are women on the move. You are a mother. You are a parent. You are a professional woman. And I thank you for being here with Families United, sharing your motherhood tips and parenting tips as a professional woman. This is Robin, brought to you by Families United 92.9, and we will see you next week. Family Matters.